everybody, welcome to A Dad, A Son, and a Game.
Hey, today we're taking a look at Love Letter. So anyway, I think this is the part where we roll the intro. It's been a while since we've done one of these, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, intro.
Let's play like this.
Okay, so here's a game that we've got already all set up. Basically, you just shuffle the cards, and in a two-player game, we're going to get rid of 3 cards over here in a discard pile. And here's my card, and we're not going to let you see Luke's card, or Luke's not going to see mine, so we're actually going to get like an experience of a game. So this is what I have. And the first thing I do in any round of this game is I draw a card. So I drew this card right here. And this card, well, hopefully we can get an explanation of all these cards as the game goes on. That's a soldier. And a soldier says, guess any card that you want and see if your opponent has it. So if there are a bunch of people, I could pick whoever I wanted and guess what they have. But Luke, I'm guessing you have the princess. Do you have the princess?
Nope.
Okay, so now it's Luke's turn. He draws a card from the card pile.
And I will use the priestess,
Ooh.
which protects me until the beginning of the next round.
Well, look what I just happened to draw. I drew one too, so I'll put one down too.
Now I can... wait. I'm using the minister, which says if your hand ever has a total of 12 ranks or more, you are out of the round.
Now, we don't do that one. We don't do that rule because that's not in the original game. Well, it might be in the very original game, but not in the original American game. So, I don't like that rule. I think it isn't fair. So, we don't do that one. So, Luke discarded the 7. So, he might be playing really tricky here. But when he discards the 7, you want to have the highest card in your hand at the end of the round. So, my thoughts right now are Luke has the 8 in his hand. Or he's doing something kind of tricky. So, the wizard says, make your player discard his card in his hand. So Luke has to discard the card in his hand. Ooh, he had a soldier in his hand, and he got rid of a 7. That's really interesting. Okay, go ahead, Luke. Draw 2 cards, because you had to discard.
Okay, I'm playing my general, and it makes me change hands.
So now Luke knows what card I had. So I probably should get rid of that card, or I should probably get rid of the card that he gave me. So I'm going to say soldier, and now if I can remember which card I had in my hand, I'm allowed to guess a card, and I think I had the knight. So Luke, you have a knight. So that kind of backfired on him, and I beat him that round. So that's it. I knocked him out by doing that, and that's how a 2-player game works. It's a little more fun with more players, and we were going to try and maybe have you guys like watch a game with Luke's childhood friend. His name is Doggy Doggy, but he's really terrible at this game. So. At any rate, here's what the cards look like in the Japanese art. They're pretty interesting looking cards. And then you also get these reference cards that basically tell you what count of what cards are there, so you can do some deduction as you're playing the game. That gives you kind of a rough idea of how to play the game. It's actually a lot of fun, and it doesn't display as well as it plays. Like when you show someone or explain the game to them, they don't think it seems fun, and I don't think that seemed very fun, what we did, but it's a little more fun than what we just showed you. Actually, more thoughts on what we think about it coming up here in a second, but one last thing I want to say is this game came to us from AEG, and this is the box. It comes in a little box like that's just this size right here, just a little small box. It has another half, obviously, but it can go about anywhere. The other version, the non-limited edition version, just comes in a little red velvet bag, and you can take it anywhere you want, to the moon even. So this game, I think, came to fruition because of basically a thing called the I think it's called like the 800 yen contest or something like that in Japan, where they have people design a game that can be produced for less than $5. So there's a lot of these games that are really cheap that have come out of that, and this is one of them. And it's probably the most popular game in the what they call Tempest series. There's some other games in that series as well. But at any rate, let's see what Luke and I had to say about it. So anyway, here's what we think about the game. Luke, go ahead and go first.
I think it's a good game for families because it's easy to play and really you just need to know the rules and know how to read to play the game. For fun, I like the fun because each round's different because you get a new card every round. And then for components, it has amazing art. So that's what I think of components.
Which one has amazing art?
Kind of both, but the limited edition has more interesting art than amazing art. So if you like interesting art,
Yeah, that's fair
I'd
to
say the limited edition would be for you. And then overall rating.
Don't wait. Save that. We've got to watch to get that. Okay, now here's my blabbering now. Love Letter is a very cool game. It's the first game of its type that's come out, and there's been some other I guess it's not the first game of its type, but there's been some imitators that have come out, like these little small box. You only have like 15 cards in there that are variations of the idea, like the deduction. I only have a couple cards in my hand kind of thing. A couple come to mind right off the bat with Masquerade and Coup. They're different games for sure, but Love Letter is the original. And so I think they say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Well, the fact that there's other games coming out in a similar price point and niche is kind of flattering to Love Letter and says it's a good game. And honestly, unless you've lived under a cave, unless you've lived under a rock, or you're just not a board gamer, and not saying that, like, those are two separate statements. If you're a board gamer, you've heard of Love Letter. Like, it's been everywhere, and it's taken the whole scene kind of by storm. If you're not a board gamer, you haven't heard about it, but it's a very good game. And this is one that if you're not a board gamer, you could definitely get going on this pretty quick, and it wouldn't be hard to do. And it's super cheap. That's the other thing, too. Like, I really hope AEG is able to get a contract worked out with, like, Target or somebody, so that way they can just have it in stores for $10. Because when you buy it, you need to throw it on a bigger order usually to get the free shipping. Because it's like $7, and then you pay like $4 or $5 shipping. So, at any rate, whatever. Back on track. It's a very fun game. I mean, it gets a little bit old after time, but it's certainly a good game. And this is one that, if I have a bunch of my gamer friends that are playing a game of this type, this length, this complexity, I'm going to say let's get out Coup, let's get out Masquerade probably instead. But those are a little more complex, and Masquerade needs a few more people to make it more fun than Love Letter can be played with. So, I mean, like, it's a good, just lighthearted, just pull this out and we'll play it. And the other thing, too, is it's tiny. So, I mean, if you get the one that's in the little red velvet bag, there's no reason to not leave it in the interior pocket of your jacket or something, and you can play it whenever. You don't need a whole lot of space to play it. You can play on a tiny table. Super cheap. So overall, I think it's something worth getting just because it is so cheap, and it's got playability. I mean, I own it, and I own a ton of other stuff, obviously. So I think it's worth having in a collection. But it doesn't have the replay value that I think some other games have, honestly. So at any rate, my nose is super itchy, and I've been dying to itch it. Here I go. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so overall.
Overall, it's an amazing game.
So you really like this one?
Yeah. It has great / interesting art. It's really fun to play, and it's great for families and easy to learn.
Number.
So, yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8.
I totally cut you off. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something else?
No.
Okay. I thought it was like, you're going to give me a number, so I said number. But anyway, good job. Okay, so for me, I'm going to give it 2 numbers. One is my respect rating. Like, I respect this game a ton, and if somebody owns it, I'm not like, man, why did they buy that? I definitely get why people have it, because, I mean, like I said before, I have it. So I'm going to give it a respect rating. I'm going to say it's like an 8. But as far as how much fun I have playing it now anymore, like, it's a 7.5 or 7 even, maybe. It's still okay. It's pretty good, but it's not like, whoa, man, I really want to play this. Like, let's get it out specifically to play this game right now. It's not like that anymore. It's just an okay game. It's a good little filler game, and for good little filler games, it does the job well. Probably better than most. And this is one that his mom, my wife, will not get out, but she'll play along with us and think it's okay. So I'm not sure that it's going to get the mom approved, but it's mom, meh, okay. I'll play it. So it's not something she's eager about, but she thinks it's okay. So yeah, 7 for my overall. Luke gave it an 8.5 or 8?
8.
8. So Luke likes it a little more than I do. I don't say that it's bad. I think that it's worth getting, worth having, hanging on to, and having it around. But it's not revolutionary in that it is revolutionary because it was the first game of its type. But it's not like going to change how you game. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh man, I have to play Love Letter for hours on end. It's something that, you know, you played something heavy, you want to play something for 10, 15 minutes, play this. And that's about it. I'm droning on now. So, at any rate, this is our, I know you're wondering this, we have ties on. This is our after wedding special. Isn't that appropriate? Love Letter is our theme for the after wedding edition. Anyway, Luke, go ahead and sing our theme song so we can exit.
Dun,
Just kidding. You don't really have to sing it.
Okay.
Did you just sing Star Wars as our theme song? Oh, okay. Well, hey, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Love Letter, pretty decent game. And now we're talking. Ugh, my nose is really itchy.